and there's also a policy issue which has to be decided whether the proposed beneficiary of these ranches, some of them got titles, I think, from the land boards, or whether they get them from Uganda Land Commission. So I'm giving a general answer on this, knowing the fact that this is a general sector issue that is still work in progress.
PS, through you, Commission Information.
Yes.
We shall really not entertain that, because these questions were posed to you last week. So when you come and tell me work in progress, how much has been achieved? What have you done? What is left? So when you just make a statement, interagency created on ranches, undertaken verification exercise, affected, you are just being so economical with information. And what we need here, we are hungry for information. We want it.
Yes, Chair, let the Secretariat come and give the details on this.
Beneficiaries of ranches getting their titles. Sorry. It's on. Through my minister, Chair, the beneficiaries of ranches, at the time of restructuring, they were given allocation letters. So each applicant or each beneficiary would have to present that allocation letter before the district land board to process the titles. Now what has happened, some of the allocatees seem not to have the allocation letters. So it is presenting a challenge that when they go to the boards, they don't have that document that indicates that that beneficiary was allocated that ranch. So it is stalling the titling process. Unfortunately, also the restructuring board wound up its activities. So retrieving some of the documents regarding the allocation letters, and this is still a challenge, because it was not really hosted in the ministry, it was an independent agency at the time.
So you're suggesting that government was issuing a document,
yes,
and not remaining within a copy?
The copies could be there, but we are trying to trace where the restructuring board left its records, because they were never transferred to lands. It was an independent agency.
Yes, Honorable Minister, maybe you can.
Thank you very much. I think really the information that has been given is not enough for the members. And through you, Chair, I want to ask members to allow us organize this work very well. Because if we said we need to know how many ranches are there, how many got the letters, and those who got the letters, how far have they gone? Has the evaluation been done? And if it has been done, who is stopping the titling of those on which are already to that level? So we need to get that information very well. I'm not acting as a member of parliament, but I need also information to that effect. So Chair, give us time, give this sector, this particular question time, and we give you concrete information about the ranches.
Unfortunately, we are so hungry for that information that anything that remains unconcluded today, you will come here back on Friday to provide all the answers. When you talk of some allocatees not having allocation letters, that should be a percentage. So what of the other percentage that came with allocation letters? What have you done with them? How far have you gone with titling? So that is what we need. Thank you.
The Honorable Minister, first of all, on that issue of the ranches, I don't know whether you work together as a team, because I know there is a report from ranching scheme. I mean the ranching scheme report, when they divided, when they compensated, and when they even issued the land titles. For example, I have a report of that, and I have the whole booklet that shows and indicates each and every ranch. From ranch number 1 of Mongonya in Mbarara, up to the last ranch on the River Nile. And that report is there. I don't know why it's not showing all this as a measure that you have taken to help that one. I don't know that one. But that was not my main point was that I have got chance to come here, is that the land in the whole area in Uganda is getting smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. And the population growth is expanding. And the government actors are also fueling it with corruption. This is the judicial system, the police, the RDC's offices and other offices, and then the land office. It is getting a bigger problem of corruption within the land. That if this land committee does not take a strong position and strong punishment to punish all these people who are actors of the government in helping the landowners, there is a problem in the future. We are likely to face insurgency over what is happening today. Because the owners of the land are in prison. Those who don't have money to pay in court are in prisons. And the rich people who have something to pay to the police, to the judicial system, to the land offices, they are outside with wrong titling, with wrong special titles, which has caused a more problem to the society than the land itself. Now, the problem today is how do we handle the conflict and the corruption within the land issue? Because we have officers that we all know in land offices that they issue special titles. Whether the land has 2 titles, they issue another 3rd title. I don't know who controls the title, who controls the titling. Don't you have a measure of checking and see our officer, why has he done that one? And it is checked within the ministry in order not to cause conflict. Because the conflict that is coming out of the land issue is becoming to be a problem. For example, in my place, I come from Rumiaga in Zimbabwe. Somebody has been owning land for 59 years. And recently, a person just owned it from court order in court and got a special title. Now, there are 2 owners, original owner and the court owner, the one who have owned it from the court. Now, who is the owner of the land? Is that not a conflict that we are likely to cause as a ministry if we are not taking trouble over what is happening? And 2, visiting the areas and see, not sit in offices. Why don't you have time and go with this land committee? I think we are going even to propose that this land committee should be facilitated not to sit here, to move to each and every constituency and see the problems which is there. Because we are likely to face war. Because land is the foundation of what we take to our stomachs in order to live. I submit.
The General of the Army has predicted that because of actions of some of us in the government, as well highlighted, there are actors who are propagating this seed of which will eventually become war. We shall start war against them as early as possible. But what he poses is a fundamental question. How does double titling happen? How does someone get another title on top of the other title? How does it happen in a current digital era? I think you're all here. I want us to agree that before we leave this room, we should have answered that question. How does it happen that in the current generation, digitization, we have 2, 3 titles sitting on the same piece of land? Mm-hmm. We need to answer that before we leave this committee. If not, we shall go up to 4 or 10 p.m., no problem. But we need to answer that question today.
And Chair, your officer, there is a gentleman called Zwa in Masaka. Yes.
In Anemzo, in Masaka, called Zwa.
Yes. His name now has been changed from Zwa to special title Zwa. Special title Zwa. You want a special title, you name Zua, then you have it. Then that is an abuse of a system, an abuse of the human security.
This officer is at what rank from your information, General?
They know him.
A senior is a land officer.
20 years in one office.
He can definitely, he cannot be, our land officer cannot be working independently. He must be supported by some people in the ministry.
20 years.
I'm going to, that one must appear. Friday, when you come back on Friday, that one must come with you. That one, Zua, Colbert must come with you to help us identify how does he work with that chain. Because he cannot be in Emzo and he commands, for example, the National Land Information Center. He cannot be there. How does he do it? So on Friday, make sure you come back here with Zua. So this, number one.
Mr. Chair, it is part of the questions which were answered wrongly and pertaining to what you discussed.
So,
Mr. Chair, these people they know, and one of them could come out and explain why those people up today, because those, the owner of that land, it was a mile, he was compensated, and then there are other people who came in, I don't know, but there are many titles on that land, and there is a letter from the president. I don't know whether if you are trying to understand me. Yes, and there was compensation which was made. But up to today, you haven't yet settled those people. I think this one can be able, he's in position to do so.
what I'm going to instruct, because I see Commissioner Wagaine and John trying to converse, but there is someone in the middle. Sembatia, I will request you to sit in the position of vegetant. So we want you to help you and have direct contact so that we get answers. What we want are answers. People are compensated. The owner of the Melo land was compensated. Why are the people who are on the land, why don't they have the titles?
Thank you so much. To purchase land for the Wananchi. Indeed, we went there. The land was purchased through Uganda Land Commission. When we went there to survey and demarcate for each beneficial owner, there came a separate claimant. Actually, the seller said that when he was selling, the part where the people are seated is not where he sold. So he was sort of claiming.
I want to get this clear. There was the owner of the land who was compensated.
I think 2001 elections or before, the people of Rwenjeru specifically made a request to the president to buy for them land where they were seated. Government went ahead, did the necessary due diligence through Uganda Land Commission to purchase that land for the Wananchi as pledged by the government, by the president. Titles were presented, I think. Subdivisions done. But when we wanted to process individual titles for each beneficiary, the owner, in fact, a third party soldier, came up claiming that that is not the area they had sold to Uganda Land Commission. That the part that was paid for was the escarpment. Where the people were seated is not the real land that the government purchased. So we referred back that matter to the purchaser, Uganda Land Commission, to sort themselves out, because they are the ones who paid, they are the ones who surveyed. Then for us, we shall take it on from there.
From your information, how much money was paid? Because I imagine there must be a history, a background, before
Chair,
you went to survey.
I'm not privy to the amount which was paid.
Land Commission handles. But I imagine that before you go to survey and register, you must have the history of the job. And that really, the history should encompass the land and how it is. I think it is mandatory that any surveyor must note down the history of the title, of the job. So you didn't receive that information from ULC?
Mr. Chair, during campaign's time, he came there and promised those people to give them titles. So you must be aware.
That one can be best answered by Honorable Mayanja, but it was an attempt to resolve that impasse, where the people are seated, the land which government paid, and the third-party claimant. So it was dispute resolution. He came to resolve the dispute.
To concretize this, we have people who were on the land. They request the president how much money was allocated to that. And then government money is paid to buy that land. And now at the time when you are asked to go and demarcate, they say they bought air or they didn't buy that particular land. That is what I'm picking from your submission?
I think, Chair, is an element of dishonesty of the seller, because Uganda Land Commission insists the land they bought is where the people are seated. Fortunately, the seller is one of the beneficiaries on that very land.
Who is that seller?
I need to refresh my mind.
And who is that soldier also who came?
I need to refresh my mind.
Mr. Chair, there is no soldier there. There is a gentleman who died a long time ago, who was called Chirwata. Is the one who was owning that mile land. So I think he was compensated for those people who were living in by then to take over. I think they were bona fide occupants. So there is no any soldier there who is even intimidating people. But those people, they are there, what they need is just titles, because they are almost even killing each other.
Honorable Minister, I'll need you to tell me, does
we are trying to put the ministry back to normal. There are things that are moving in directions that you may not understand. But since I came in, I've tried my level best to make sure that some of these people sit together and agree. The commission had never met with they don't regularly meet with the commissioners here. The other one seems to be a separate, completely separate body that it doesn't want to know how the ministry works. But I've tried my level best in my first 30 days to make sure that we bring together these two people. And very many things are coming up. I want to assure you, I'm going to intervene in this matter and visit again the locals and call these people, both the ULC and the commissioners, and see how far, how much land was given, how much was paid, if it was apportioned and subdivided, what is the problem? We must dig out. By Friday, I'll come up with a concrete report on this.
Because I have a very good information, which will help us here, because I was dealing on almost similar land matters, and some stuff of land, the units of land are here, and I am coordinating